It was a quiet day on Earth. The sky was clear, the cities hummed with activity, and life went on as usual. But, as the sun set, a message came through that would change everything. The Galactic Empire, a powerful and vast force that ruled over countless planets and galaxies, had set its sights on Earth. They were known for their high-tech ships, advanced weaponry, and immense power. For centuries, they had been expanding across the stars, conquering planets, and making them part of their empire. Now, they were turning their attention to Earth. The message came first as a warning, broadcasted across every communication channel on the planet. It was calm, almost polite, but carried a heavy weight. The voice on the screen was clear and confident, the kind of voice that commanded respect. People of Earth, it began. This is the Galactic Empire. We require you to open your borders and accept our terms for peaceful cooperation. You will allow us passage, share your resources, and join the great intergalactic community. There is no choice in this matter. We give you 3 days to respond. It was an ultimatum. At first, many on Earth were unsure of what to make of it. Was this a hoax? Could it be real? The very idea of an alien empire demanding control over Earth seemed impossible. But as the days passed, the reality of the situation began to set in. Governments around the world began to receive similar messages, and soon, the evidence became undeniable. The Galactic Empire had arrived. World leaders scrambled to respond. What should they do? How could they protect their planet from an enemy so powerful? The United Nations held an emergency meeting, gathering leaders from all corners of the Earth. The atmosphere in the room was tense, filled with a mixture of fear and confusion. As the leaders of the world debated, one thing was clear. No one had ever seen anything like the Empire's technology. Their ships were unlike anything humanity had ever known. Massive vessels that seemed to defy the laws of physics, gliding effortlessly through space with a beauty that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. They hovered just outside the Earth's atmosphere, their presence enough to send a chill down the spines of all who saw them. The ships glowed with an eerie light, their dark, metallic exteriors reflecting the stars like silent giants. The threat was real. In the midst of the growing panic, a new leader emerged. His name was David Riley, a former military officer turned diplomat. Riley was known for his calm demeanor and sharp mind. He was selected to speak on behalf of Earth. His message was simple, but powerful. We refuse to submit to any foreign rule. Earth will stand alone, and no passage will be granted to any outside force. Our people will not bow to your empire. The world watched as Riley's message was broadcast across the globe. His words were met with mixed reactions. Some were filled with hope, believing that humanity could face this challenge. Others feared it was the beginning of Earth's destruction. But Riley stood firm. "We have made our decision," he said, his voice unwavering. "We will not surrender." Back in space, the Empire's response was swift. The day after Riley's speech, the skies above Earth grew dark as an enormous fleet of ships emerged from hyperspace. Thousands of sleek, silver vessels appeared, their engines roaring with power. The fleet was unlike anything Earth had ever seen. It was massive, stretching across the sky like a wall of steel, blocking out the stars. The Empire had arrived in full force, and they were not going to take no for an answer. On Earth, people stared at the ships with wide eyes. Some feared the worst, believing that humanity was doomed. Others held their breath, waiting for the Empire's next move. The leaders of Earth had made their stand, but what would happen next? Would they be able to hold their ground, or would the Galactic Empire crush them under its mighty heel? The world waited for an answer. It was clear that Earth was about to enter a new chapter in its history, one that would be written in the stars. The first few days after the Empire's fleet appeared in Earth's skies were filled with tension. People around the world watched in disbelief as the alien ships hovered just above the atmosphere. The Galactic Empire had sent its mightiest warships to Earth, and the message was clear. Earth had been marked for conquest. For most people, it felt like the end. News channels across the globe showed images of the vast fleet, each ship shining like a star in the night sky. No one knew what to expect. Would the Empire demand Earth's surrender? Would they destroy entire cities to force compliance? The possibilities seemed endless, and none of them were good. World leaders gathered once more to discuss their options. Panic was growing in many places, but a few remained calm. David Riley, who had spoken so strongly in defense of Earth, stood before the United Nations once again. His voice was steady, but the pressure was heavy. "We cannot back down now," Riley declared. "If we let them in, they will take everything. We must show them that humanity is not weak. We have resources, we have strength, and most importantly, we have unity." There were murmurs in the room. Not everyone was convinced. The Empire's fleet was massive, and the ships were designed for war. But Riley's words carried weight, and he knew Earth's only hope was to stand united and fight. Behind the scenes, Earth's military had already begun working on a response. Governments across the world had secretly pooled their resources and shared their best technologies. Humanity's greatest minds were working together, combining knowledge from all corners of the Earth. The result was something the Empire would not expect: a weapon of unprecedented power, one that could level the playing field. But there was no time to waste. The Empire had sent a final message, demanding that Earth open its borders. Their fleet was ready to strike, and they made it clear that there would be no second chances. Earth had 3 days to comply, or the Empire would take matters into their own hands. David Riley and Earth's military leaders knew what had to be done. They made the bold decision to strike first. If they were to stand a chance, they needed to show the Empire that Earth was not a helpless planet. It would not bow to invaders. As the deadline drew closer, Earth's forces began to prepare. The world's best pilots, soldiers, and engineers came together to launch a counterattack. With the help of advanced technology that had been developed in secret, Earth's warships were ready. They were smaller than the Empire's massive fleet, but they were faster, more agile, and designed with unique weapons that the Empire had never seen before. The human ships had been designed to blend into the atmosphere, using stealth technology that could hide them from the Empire's sensors. The goal was simple: strike hard and fast before the Empire could react. Earth's forces would take the fight to the sky, showing the Empire that humanity would never be an easy target. As the Empire's ships prepared for their next move, a fleet of Earth's own warships emerged from behind the moon. The human ships, sleek and dark, moved silently into position. For the first time, the Empire was caught off guard. They had expected Earth to surrender without a fight, but now, Earth was ready to fight back. The first shots were fired without warning. Brilliant flashes of light lit up the dark expanse of space as human ships unleashed their weapons on the Empire's fleet. The Empire's ships, caught off guard by the sudden assault, scrambled to respond. But it was too late. Earth's ships, smaller but more agile, darted through the massive enemy fleet, striking hard and fast. The battle that followed was intense. The Empire's ships were powerful, but they were not prepared for the speed and tactics of Earth's forces. Earth's warships were equipped with advanced energy weapons that could disrupt the Empire's shields, and their agility allowed them to dodge the Empire's larger weapons with ease. For the first time in history, the Empire was forced to fight for its survival. Human soldiers fought with a ferocity that shocked the Empire. They had something the Empire had never understood: a deep love for their home and a burning desire to protect it. The Empire's soldiers, used to winning with ease, were unprepared for the human will to fight. As the battle raged on, the Empire began to realize that Earth was not like the other planets they had conquered. The humans were fierce, resourceful, and most importantly, united. The Empire's fleet began to suffer damage, and for the first time, the invaders found themselves losing ground. But the Empire was not one to give up easily. They called in reinforcements, sending more ships to Earth's orbit. The battle was far from over. But the message was clear. Earth would not be an easy conquest. David Riley, watching the battle unfold, knew that this was just the beginning. The Empire had come to Earth expecting a quick victory, but now they would learn that humanity was not to be underestimated. Earth's people had a fire within them, and they would fight to protect their home. The show of strength had only just begun, and the Empire would soon find out that Earth would never back down. The battle above Earth had taken the world by surprise. The Empire's massive fleet, which had been certain of an easy victory, was now facing a fierce resistance from humanity. Earth's warships, smaller and faster, had fought back with unexpected strength. The Galactic Empire's leaders had assumed that Earth would crumble easily, but they were wrong. For the first time in centuries, they were facing real opposition. While the battle in space raged on, there was something much more important happening behind the scenes. Earth's leaders knew that to win this war, they needed more than just bravery and a few clever tactics. They needed to outsmart the Empire in ways the invaders had never expected. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for years, but in secret. Earth's greatest minds, scientists, engineers, and military strategists, had been working together in hidden underground facilities across the globe. They knew that the Galactic Empire was far more powerful than anything humanity had ever faced, so they began developing new technologies that would give them a fighting chance. In these secret labs, scientists had been studying the strange alien artifacts that had been discovered on Earth over the years. These artifacts, left behind by ancient civilizations, contained technology that was far beyond anything humanity had created. Over time, human scientists had figured out how to reverse engineer these mysterious devices. They had discovered new ways to harness energy, develop new kinds of weapons, and build ships that could move faster than anything the Empire had ever seen. One of the most important projects was the development of a new type of spacecraft, one that could withstand the Empire's powerful energy weapons and have the ability to move undetected through space. These ships were called Spectres. They were equipped with stealth technology that could hide them from the Empire's sensors, making them invisible to the enemy. In addition, these ships were armed with experimental energy cannons that could disrupt the Empire's shields and weapons. But the Spectres were just one part of humanity's plan. The real secret weapon was something far more powerful. Deep beneath the surface of the Earth, in a hidden military base, the world's best engineers had been working on a new kind of energy source, a power so strong that it could change the course of the war. This energy source was unlike anything the Empire had seen. It could be used to fuel weapons that could rival the Empire's most advanced technology. As the battle above Earth continued, the leaders of Earth knew that it was time to reveal their preparations. They had to show the Empire that they were not just a small, defenseless planet. They were a force to be reckoned with. The world's leaders made an announcement to the people of Earth. It was a message of hope, but also a declaration of war. "We have been preparing for this moment for years," David Riley, the leader who had first spoken out against the Empire, said in a broadcast. "We have the strength, the technology, and the resolve to stand up to the Empire. The battle will not be won by their ships or their weapons. It will be won by the spirit of humanity. We will fight for our freedom, and we will win." As Riley's message spread across the globe, the people of Earth rallied behind their leaders. In cities all over the world, people took to the streets, united by a single purpose. The human spirit was stronger than ever, and there was no turning back now. In the days that followed, Earth's forces began to implement their new strategies. The Spectre ships were deployed, moving silently through space, gathering intelligence, and preparing for the next phase of the battle. These ships would strike when the Empire least expected it, using their stealth capabilities to infiltrate the Empire's fleet and cause chaos from within. Meanwhile, the new energy weapons were being prepared. These weapons, fueled by the mysterious power source, were capable of disabling the Empire's most advanced ships. The weapons were still experimental, but the humans had no choice but to put them into action. If they waited too long, the Empire would crush them. The stage was set for a new kind of warfare, one where intelligence, speed, and surprise would play a key role. Earth was no longer just defending itself, it was striking back. The Spectre ships were ready, the new weapons were primed, and the Empire was about to face an enemy it had never encountered before, a planet willing to fight to the very end. But despite all the preparation, there was one thing that Earth's leaders could not control: the human heart. No matter how advanced their technology became, the true strength of humanity lay in its people's courage, determination, and willingness to sacrifice. It was this spirit that would be the deciding factor in the war. As the days passed, the war continued to rage above Earth. The Empire's fleet had been damaged, but it was still powerful. The human forces, though outnumbered and outgunned, had found their strength in unity. They were no longer just defending their planet. They were defending their future. They were fighting not only for survival, but for the right to remain free. And in the silent laboratories, in the hidden bunkers beneath the Earth, humanity's final preparations were taking shape. The stage was set for the next phase of the war. The Empire's arrogance would be its downfall, and Earth's strength would shine through. The war between Earth and the Galactic Empire was intensifying. The once confident Empire, which had believed its victory was certain, was now facing unexpected resistance. Humanity had taken the fight to space, using new technologies and strategies the Empire had never anticipated. Still, the Empire was powerful, and the battle was far from over. Earth's forces had held their ground, but they needed to strike a decisive blow. It was clear to David Riley, the leader of Earth's resistance, that the time had come for a bold move. The Empire's fleet, though damaged, was still a formidable force, and Earth's defenses were beginning to wear thin. If they were going to win, they needed to disrupt the Empire's command and control. They needed to send a message, one that would make the Empire realize that Earth was not just a planet to conquer. It was a force to be reckoned with. Riley's plan was simple but risky. Earth would make first contact with the Empire's flagship. The flagship was the heart of the Empire's fleet, the command center from which all orders were given. If Earth could disable the flagship, the Empire would be thrown into chaos. The plan was dangerous, and many of Earth's leaders questioned whether it was worth the risk. But Riley was certain. This was their chance to shift the balance of the war. The human fleet, equipped with newly developed stealth technology and powerful weapons, began to move into position. A squadron of Spectre ships, invisible to the Empire's sensors, was tasked with infiltrating the enemy's fleet and targeting the flagship. It was a dangerous mission, but these ships had been built for this very purpose. Their speed and stealth would give them the advantage. As the Spectre ships approached the Empire's flagship, the atmosphere was tense. The humans had no idea how the Empire would react when they realized that their command center was under attack. The flagship was heavily protected, surrounded by a fleet of warships, but the Spectres moved silently, slipping through the enemy defenses like shadows. Meanwhile, the Empire's fleet remained unaware of the danger approaching. Their commanders, still confident that they could crush Earth's forces, were focused on the ongoing battle. They had underestimated humanity's ability to fight back, and they continued to make the mistake of thinking that Earth was no match for them. This arrogance would be their downfall. The first strike came without warning. A Spectre ship, using its advanced weaponry, fired a powerful energy blast at the flagship's outer defenses. The blast struck the flagship's shield, causing a massive shockwave that rippled through space. The Empire's fleet reacted quickly, sending a wave of warships to protect the flagship. But it was too late. The element of surprise was on Earth's side. As the Spectres continued their assault, the Empire's flagship began to suffer significant damage. Its shields flickered and weakened, and the control systems began to malfunction. Panic spread among the Empire's crew as they realized that their command center was under attack. The Empire's powerful fleet, so used to commanding the battlefield, was now struggling to protect its own heart. David Riley watched the attack unfold from Earth's command center. The battle was far from over. But this was the moment they had been waiting for. The flagship's command structure was collapsing, and the Empire's fleet was beginning to lose coordination. The humans had succeeded in creating chaos within the heart of the Empire's forces. But Earth's forces could not afford to relax. The Empire's response was swift. In retaliation, the Empire unleashed their most powerful weapon, a massive pulse of energy designed to wipe out the Spectre ships and any others in their path. The energy blast surged through space, illuminating the darkness like a star exploding. The Spectre ships were fast, but not fast enough. Several were hit by the pulse and destroyed in an instant. However, the Spectres had done their job. They had disrupted the Empire's flagship and thrown the fleet into disarray. The Empire's commanders were now scrambling, trying to regain control of their forces. The moment of chaos was exactly what Earth needed. On Earth, the people watched in awe as the events unfolded in space. News stations broadcast the battle live, showing the incredible images of the human fleet striking at the heart of the Empire. People cheered as they saw the Empire's flagship, once so imposing, begin to falter. For the first time, it seemed like Earth might actually have a chance to win. Riley knew that this was just the beginning. The Empire was powerful, but it was not invincible. The human spirit was unbreakable, and now the Empire had seen it firsthand. Earth had sent a message. They would not be conquered. In the Empire's command room, panic was beginning to set in. They had underestimated humanity, and now the very thing they had feared, the rise of a planet that refused to bow, was happening. The Galactic Empire had always believed that no force could stand against them, but Earth had proven them wrong. As the human forces regrouped and prepared for the next stage of the war, it was clear that this fight was far from over. The Galactic Empire would not give up easily, but neither would Earth. The stage was set for an epic struggle, a battle not just for survival, but for the future of humanity itself. And in that moment, Earth's people knew one thing. They would never give up. Not now. Not ever. The attack on the Galactic Empire's flagship had shaken the invaders. For the first time in their long history of conquest, they had been caught off guard. The humans' unexpected strike had disrupted their fleet, and the flagship, the symbol of their power, had been damaged. The Empire's arrogance had led them to underestimate Earth, but now they saw humanity for what it was, a dangerous, determined opponent. In the aftermath of the attack, the Empire's commanders gathered to plan their next move. Inside the flagship's central command room, Admiral Trilon, a seasoned leader of the Empire, addressed his officers. His voice was cold and sharp, filled with anger. "We have allowed these primitives to embarrass us," he said, his eyes narrowing. "They think they can resist the might of the Galactic Empire. We will show them what happens to those who defy us." The officers nodded, but there was unease in the room. The humans had proven to be far more resourceful than expected, and their technology was advancing quickly. The Empire's usual strategies of overwhelming force and intimidation were not working as planned. The question now was how to crush Earth without further losses. Trilon, however, had a new plan. The Empire would strike at Earth's heart, targeting its major cities and infrastructure. It would show humanity the cost of defiance. It would be a brutal display of power, designed to break the will of Earth's people. While the Empire prepared its counterstrike, Earth's leaders were working tirelessly to stay ahead. David Riley and his team knew that the Empire would retaliate, and they had no illusions about the scale of the threat. The attack on the flagship had been a success, but it had also made humanity a target for the Empire's wrath. In secret bunkers and command centers around the globe, Earth's military strategists worked on their next move. They had learned a great deal from the initial battles. The Empire's ships were powerful, but they were not invincible. Their shields could be disrupted, their weapons could be evaded, and their tactics could be outmaneuvered. Humanity's greatest strength was its ability to adapt. As Earth's forces prepared for the inevitable counterattack, a surprising development occurred. One of the Empire's smaller ships, heavily damaged during the battle, was forced to land on Earth. It crash-landed in a remote area, far from any major cities. A team of human soldiers was quickly dispatched to investigate. When the soldiers arrived, they found the wreckage of the alien ship smoldering in a dense forest. The ship's crew had been injured, but they were still alive. The soldiers approached cautiously, weapons ready, unsure of what to expect. To their surprise, the alien crew did not resist. Instead, one of them, a tall figure with silver skin and piercing eyes, stepped forward and raised his hands in surrender. "I am Commander Zev," the alien said, speaking through a translation device. "I mean no harm. I seek to speak with your leaders." The soldiers were stunned. This was the first time an alien from the Empire had willingly communicated with humans. The soldiers took Zev and his crew into custody and transported them to a secure facility. Word of the capture quickly reached David Riley and his team. When Riley met with Zev, he was cautious but curious. Zev explained that he had no loyalty to the Empire. He was part of a faction within the Empire that had grown tired of its endless conquests. Many within the Empire, Zev revealed, were questioning the leadership's aggressive expansion. They believed that peace, not war, was the way forward. "I have seen what your people are capable of," Zev said. "You fight with courage and intelligence. The Empire has underestimated you, and I believe they will continue to do so. I wish to help you." Riley listened carefully. Zev's offer was risky, but it could be the key to turning the tide of the war. If there were others within the Empire who shared Zev's views, humanity might have allies they hadn't expected. With Zev's knowledge of the Empire's technology and tactics, Earth could gain a crucial advantage. As the leaders of Earth debated whether to trust Zev, the Empire launched its counterstrike. Massive warships descended upon Earth, targeting major cities with devastating precision. The attacks were brutal, leaving destruction in their wake. But Earth's forces, forewarned by Zev's intelligence, were prepared. Using their new energy weapons and advanced defenses, they managed to repel many of the Empire's attacks. The battle was fierce, and both sides suffered heavy losses. Earth's people fought with everything they had, refusing to give in to fear. In the midst of the chaos, Zev proved his loyalty by helping Earth's forces disable one of the Empire's largest warships. His knowledge of the ship's systems allowed the humans to exploit its weaknesses, delivering a critical blow to the Empire's fleet. As the dust settled, it was clear that the war was far from over. The Empire was still powerful, and Earth's resources were being stretched to their limits. But for the first time, humanity had a chance to fight back on equal footing. With Zev's help, they had gained valuable insights into their enemy, and their unity remained unshaken. David Riley stood before the leaders of Earth and addressed them with determination. "The Empire wanted us to surrender," he said, "but we have shown them that humanity will never bow. We are stronger than they ever imagined, and we will continue to fight for our freedom, for our future, and for each other." The war had reached a turning point. The Empire's counterstrike had failed to break Earth's spirit, and humanity's resolve had only grown stronger. The battle for Earth's survival was far from over, but one thing was certain: humanity would never give up. The war between Earth and the Galactic Empire had become more intense with every passing day. The Empire's attacks had been brutal, but Earth's forces, fueled by a determination to protect their home, had managed to hold their ground. Thanks to the help of Commander Zev, a defector from the Empire, humanity now had a crucial advantage. The knowledge he provided about the Empire's weaknesses and tactics was invaluable, but even with this new information, the situation remained dire. Earth's leaders knew that they had to strike hard and fast if they were going to stand a chance. The Empire's response to their resistance had been swift and punishing. Cities were still being attacked, and the once peaceful skies above Earth had become the battlefield of a desperate war. But humanity had proven it could survive and fight back. The next step was to take the fight to the heart of the Empire. David Riley, the leader of Earth's forces, was no stranger to tough decisions. He had led his people through the most difficult moments of the war, and now he faced a decision that could alter the course of history. He had to take the battle to the Empire's home system, a daring move that could either win the war or lead to disaster. Riley's plan was ambitious. Earth's fleet, bolstered by the stealthy Spectre ships and new energy weapons, would launch a surprise attack on the Empire's capital planet, Cylon. If they could strike at the heart of the Empire, it would send a powerful message. Earth would no longer be a victim. It would be the one to determine its fate. The plan was risky, but Riley knew it was their best chance. The Empire had underestimated Earth at every turn, but now the tables were beginning to turn. The humans had learned from their mistakes, and they had the advantage of surprise on their side. With Zev's inside knowledge, they knew exactly where the Empire's defenses were weakest. Earth had spent weeks preparing, refining their strategies, and gathering resources for this moment. The fleet gathered in secret, hidden away in Earth's moon orbit. The Spectre ships, their cloaking technology now perfected, would lead the charge. They would infiltrate the Empire's outer defenses, gathering intelligence and disabling key systems to pave the way for the larger assault. Meanwhile, Earth's main fleet would follow, ready to strike when the time was right. As the fleet prepared to leave, Riley gathered his officers for one final briefing. "We're going into the heart of the Empire," he said, his voice steady but filled with the weight of the responsibility he carried. "We may not get a second chance, but we fight not just for survival. We fight for our freedom, for our families, and for every person on this planet. We show them that humanity cannot be broken." The officers nodded in agreement, their faces set with resolve. The humans had come a long way from the beginning of the war, and they were more united than ever. With the fate of their world at stake, there was no turning back. The fleet set off for the Empire's capital. Navigating through the dark void of space, the Spectre ships led the way, moving in perfect silence, undetectable to the Empire's sensors. Earth's main fleet, smaller but nimble, followed at a distance, ready to strike when the time came. As they neared the Empire's home system, the tension was palpable. The vast expanse of space seemed even more intimidating now as the heart of the Empire came into view. The capital planet, Cylon, was a shining jewel in the darkness, surrounded by a massive defensive fleet. It was heavily guarded, but humanity had learned how to exploit the Empire's overconfidence. The Empire believed it was invincible, but it had never faced an enemy like Earth. The Spectre ships went first, slipping through the Empire's outer defenses with ease. They disabled key communication satellites and neutralized long-range sensors, making it harder for the Empire to detect Earth's approach. It was a small victory, but it gave Earth's fleet a window of opportunity. The next phase of the plan was the most dangerous. Earth's fleet, now undetected by the Empire, would jump into the capital system. The element of surprise was their greatest weapon. With the Spectre ships causing chaos within the Empire's communication network, the humans would have a chance to strike before the Empire could react. David Riley watched from the command center as the fleet entered the capital system. His heart raced, but his mind remained focused. The moment of truth had arrived. The Empire was about to learn that Earth was no longer a helpless world. It was a force to be reckoned with. The Empire's fleet was vast, but it was not invincible. The humans had learned how to fight smart, and they knew how to use their technology to exploit the Empire's weaknesses. The key to victory lay in striking quickly and decisively, before the Empire could mount a full defense. The first wave of Earth's forces launched their attack. Energy blasts lit up the darkness of space as Earth's ships targeted key Empire warships. The Spectre ships, now acting as the eyes and ears of the fleet, coordinated the attack, disabling Empire vessels one by one. The Empire's fleet, caught off guard by the sudden assault, was slow to react. David Riley watched as the battle unfolded. The humans were making their move, and the tide of the war was shifting. But the Empire would not give up without a fight. The capital system was heavily defended, and even with their advantage, Earth's forces were facing overwhelming opposition. Despite the odds, Earth's fleet pushed forward, determined to show the Empire that humanity was not afraid. They fought with everything they had, striking with precision and strength. Earth's forces were united by a single purpose: to secure their future, no matter the cost. The battle for Cylon had begun, and it would be the most important fight of humanity's existence. The battle for Xylon, the heart of the Galactic Empire, had reached its peak. Earth's forces had managed to break through the outer defenses of the capital system, but the Empire was now retaliating with everything they had. Massive warships clashed with Earth's fleet, filling the void of space with explosions and flashes of light. The humans, with their advanced tactics and determination, were holding their ground, but they were vastly outnumbered. David Riley stood at the helm of Earth's flagship, his gaze fixed on the battlefield. The chaos unfolding outside was overwhelming, yet in his heart, he felt a surge of hope. Humanity had come so far, and despite the overwhelming power of the Empire, they were showing that they could stand their ground. The battle was a test of will, a test of whether humanity would survive as a free species or be crushed under the Empire's boot. The Spectre ships were still in action, slipping in and out of the Empire's defenses, delivering devastating blows to key targets. The Empire's warships, now scrambling to protect their capital planet, were disoriented and struggling to respond. The humans had fought for this moment, and now they were using every advantage they had. On the battlefield, Earth's main fleet was locked in fierce combat with the Empire's forces. Ships swerved and dodged, unleashing energy blasts that lit up the darkness of space. The human fleet was smaller, but they fought with determination. Earth's engineers had designed new weapons and shields specifically for this assault, and they were proving effective against the Empire's superior firepower. Admiral Trilon, the commander of the Empire's forces, was furious. He had underestimated the humans, and now his fleet was paying the price. The Empire's ships, once the terror of the galaxy, were being pushed back by Earth's forces. Trilon could feel his grip on the battle slipping, and his officers began to murmur with concern. "They cannot keep this up," one of his officers said. "Their fleet is small compared to ours. We will crush them." But Trilon wasn't so sure. He had fought countless battles across the galaxy, and he had never encountered an enemy like Earth. The humans were resourceful, brave, and relentless. They had defied every expectation, and now, it seemed, they might actually win. Meanwhile, Zev, the former Empire commander who had defected to Earth's side, was on board one of the Spectre ships, coordinating the attack. He had given humanity the advantage by sharing critical information about the Empire's defenses, and now he was watching as his former allies faltered. He knew that the Empire's downfall had already begun. It was only a matter of time before Earth's forces overwhelmed them. As the battle raged on, David Riley made his decision. It was time to deliver the final blow. He knew that the Empire's command center, located on the central moon of Xylon, was still intact. If Earth could destroy it, the Empire's ability to coordinate its forces would be crippled, and their defeat would be assured. Riley's plan was risky. The moon was heavily fortified, surrounded by layers of defense systems, but it was the key to ending the war. With the Spectre ships providing cover, Earth's fleet launched a daring attack on the moon. The battle for the moon was intense, but Earth's forces pushed forward, using every ounce of their strength and ingenuity. The Empire responded fiercely, sending wave after wave of ships to defend the moon. But Earth's fleet, bolstered by their unity and the knowledge they had gained, pressed on. Riley's heart pounded in his chest as the battle unfolded. The moment of truth had arrived. If they could destroy the Empire's command center, the war would be over. Earth's ships fired their energy weapons at the moon's defenses, blasting through the Empire's shield and weakening their stronghold. The Empire's warships fought back, but they were disorganized, their command structure in disarray. The destruction of the flagship and the earlier disruption to their communications had left the Empire vulnerable. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Earth's forces reached the heart of the Empire's defenses. Riley watched as the final strike was made. A massive energy blast from Earth's flagship hit the Empire's command center, causing an explosion that reverberated across the moon. The shockwave sent a ripple through the entire Empire's fleet. For a moment, everything went silent. The destruction of the command center had shattered the Empire's ability to communicate and coordinate. Their remaining ships were left in confusion, disarray, and panic. It was over. The Empire's forces, once so powerful and confident, now found themselves in retreat. Earth's fleet, battered but victorious, stood firm as the last of the Empire's warships flowed into the depths of space. The Galactic Empire, the mighty force that had once threatened to conquer the galaxy, had been defeated. David Riley breathed a sigh of relief as he looked out over the battlefield. The war was over. Earth had won. The humans had shown that no matter how powerful an enemy might be, humanity would always find a way to fight back. They had stood together, united in their determination to protect their home and their freedom. The Empire had underestimated them, but Earth had proven that the human spirit could not be broken. In the years that followed, Earth rebuilt. The scars of the war were deep, but the people of Earth were resilient. The victory over the Galactic Empire was not just a triumph of military strength. It was a triumph of hope, unity, and the unbreakable will of humanity. And as David Riley looked to the stars, he knew that Earth's place in the galaxy was secure. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Earth was no longer just a small, isolated planet. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol that even in the face of the greatest odds, humanity could rise and fight for its freedom.